Okay. Screen is visible?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. That our module 4, it is having the first part in that is of a magnetic force. In previous first and second modules, we learnt about what you mean by what is the work done, what is the electric field intensity. Those things we know. In terms of electric fields, we know what is the force, how it is going to be exhibiting. But in terms of a magnetic field, what is the equation and what the force is, in which factors it is depending on, those will be learning in our module 4. Okay, in the magnetic force, that first topic is of a force on a moving charge. Instead of going to take the force between a static movement of a charge, we will be shifting what is the force when the charges are in the movement. In terms of your conductors or semiconductors, what are the elements are going for, those all things will be learning in this module. If the first topic is about a force on moving charge, it will be asking for 4 marks, the definition, or else 6 marks. It depends on the question paper. In an electric field, the definition of electric field intensity, what is shown for us, that the force on a charge particle, what it is going for, based on the electric field intensity only, we defining what is the force. The force is going to be what is the charge it is having and how much the electric field intensity it's going to be producing from that charge. That is what the force. That is therefore the equation I can write here as a F is going to be equals to Q into E. Therefore, the force, what is, observe here, this is a force is also a vector, electric field intensity is also vector, where our force is directly proportional to the electric field intensity, means the direction of the force is depends on the electric field intensity. In which way electric field intensity is varying, in that field only, in the same direction only, our force is going to be exhibiting. The same thing is there, the force is in the same direction as of the electric field intensity for a positive charge, or it may be a negative charge. It's going to be vice versa, and is directly proportional to what, for the both electric field intensity and also for the charge what it is consisting of. That's what here it is taken. Then if the charge is in the motion, means if the charge in the movement, the force at any point in its trajectory is given by the equation of the what we taken. The same equation is going to be using after that. Then a charge particle in motion in a magnetic field of a flux density, here it is going to be a B, is how it is going to be taken, flux density found experimentally to experience a force. What is the experience? Force is going to be experienced and whose magnitude is going to be proportional to the magnitudes of the charge and also the its velocity and the flux density B. Then and to sine of the angle between the V and B. What it is telling, these things will represent in the equation. Next it will be coming of that only. The direction of the force is perpendicular to the both the velocity and also for the flux density. Therefore, it is given by a unit vector in the direction of the velocity and to the flux density. Therefore, the force, this is force in terms of electric field intensity equation. In terms of the flux density equation, for the force equation, its F is going to be Q, the velocity, cross with your flux density. In terms of your flux density, the equation for the force. The fundamental difference between in effect of this electric and magnetic field on a charged particle is now it's a different. When it's going to compare, in the previously we told it's the same, but now it's going to be a different equations we taken. For the force which is always applied in the direction at right angles only, almost in the cases in the previously we told that it is of a perpendicular to the direction of the movement, right? The same thing here also we are going for the direction at the right angles to the direction in which the particle is proceeding, which can never charge the magnitude of the particle velocity. This is what it's going for. Then what is this? The whole thing is telling is nothing but, in other words, we can tell that this is acceleration vector. Acceleration vector means the movement. Acceleration we will be giving. It will be in the same direction what is going for. Acceleration vector is always normal to the velocity vector. Scanning is somewhat okay. Acceleration vector is always normal to the velocity vector. If you are not able to write what are these things, if you write two lines, that will be more than enough. Okay. Then the kinetic energy of the particle remains. What is the kinetic energy? It's going to be, you know, what is the dropping of any of the particle. Those are kinetic energies. The particle remains unchanged and it follows the steady magnetic field, is incapable of transferring the energy to the moving charge. If I am going for kinetic energy, it's not going to carry any of the energy when it is moving from one part to the another point, one point to the another point. That's what he is telling. Then the electric field, on the other hand, exert a force on a particle, which is the force what is going to be exerting on that particle, which is independent of the direction. Observe here, independent of the direction in which the particle is progressing, means traveling, and therefore affects an energy transfer. In this case, energy transfer is going to be happening between the field and also to the particle in general way. What it's telling, the electric field, the force what is going to be exhibiting is independent of the direction of the particle where it is moving. But when it is moving, it giving the energy in between of the field and also to the particle. In general way, it is going to be happening. That's what it's telling. That's why we are going to be, when a electron is moving from in the conduction band, right, from lower level to higher band, valence band, then when it is falling down, a energy is going to be releasing, right, in terms of your conductors, whatever it's going for. The same thing here it is telling for us. Then a force on a moving particle due to the combined electric and also magnetic fields is going to be obtained by the superposition theorem. That is about F is going to be equals to Q times the electric field intensity and with the flux density and also in terms of a velocity. That is nothing but F is going to be equals to Q of E plus V cross B. This is the equation. Then this equation, what it is taken, is given by the person Lorentz. For that reason, we kept the equation as Lorentz force equation. This equation is known as Lorentz force equation. In some of the question paper, if they asked, write, explain, derive the Lorentz force equation, means from starting you go on writing the theory part of this whole equation, and its solution is required to determine the electron orbits in terms of physics, what's going for. In terms of a magnetron or a proton, the path in the cyclotron, plasma characteristics in a magneto-hydrodynamic, that is MHD generators in such applications, are in general we telling as a charged particle motion in combined electric and also in the magnetic fields. In both the cases, if want to find what is the force, then we are going to use of our, where it is having both the electric and magnetic fields. It should consist of both. Then I am going to apply our Lorentz force. This is about Lorentz force in a moving charge, or as a force on a moving charge. The next part here is going to be in terms of a differential current elements. Force on a differential current elements. In terms of a current, what might be the equation is going for. Then the force on a charged particle moving through the steady magnetic field. The same equation we will be taking what we taken the previously. Field, magnetic field, steady magnetic field is the differential force exerted on a differential element of a charge. Then If I'm going to stress of a differential means you should go with a differentiation of that vector which you are going for using of that element, right? Therefore d is going to be d of f is going to be equals to d times of q v cross b. The same equation differentiated in both the way so that we can get of the differential element. Then the differential element of a charge, it is consisting of a large number of a very small discrete charges. Observe here, large number of very small discrete charges like positive and electrons or proton holes occupying a volume, which volume is a small. Volume is small but large number of discrete charges. Observe here, interlinking each and everything, and is much larger than the average separation between the charges. The charges what it is there in the volume are, in a simple way what I can tell, in a volume it's a small part I am going to take. In this there are huge number of charges are there, large number of charges are there. Then the separation between one charge to the another charge is larger. Within that I am telling, it's not comparing with the volume how much is there. Within the point charges, the space what it in between of those are somewhat large. When I'm going for diode, we know what is the construction is going to be, n type and p type. Your holes will be on another side and your electrons will be another side. The separation between the charges are somewhat larger. When you are applying the charge, then it's going to be movement, right? The same thing it's going to be taken here. Then the differential force of force equation is going to be the sum of the force on the individual charges. It's going to be q1, q2, q3 divided by 4 pi epsilon naught into r. We taken, right? The same thing. The individual force of its charge of its force. All factors will be coming here only. The differential force equation is the sum of the forces on the individual charge, and this sum or resultant force is not a force applied to a single object. The force what is going to be happening, it's not going to be applying for a single object. It's not going to give for that reason. Then in terms of analog, what is going to be in a real time, the example is considered here as differential gravitational force. The gravitational force what is going to be, whatever the object is going opposite direction of the earth, everything will be falling down, right? It's not having any force that you should come back that object to come down. When you throw that, it will be coming back only. No need of extra force is there. In the same way, it's going to be considering a differential gravitational force experienced by a small volume taken in a shower falling sand. What's going to be sand? What's going the example, whatever it's not that you have to go with a shower falling sand. You can go out apple or anything if your ball which is coming back. That's what. Then a small volume contains a large number of a sand grains. What's going to be? How much you are in a balloon you put off strands and you throw off and make a pin to when it's falling you can use by using a pin you can hit that balloon, the sand what's going to be coming down. That example you can imagine for this theory. A small volume, the balloon is small when compared to earth, right? Based on that, a small volume contains a large number of sand grains, and a differential force is going to be, what's the force is coming for each individual sand is the sum of the forces on individual grains within a small volume. If charges are of a electrons, if I'm going to consider in motion in the conductor, observe here, free electrons, electrons not free, in a motion in a conductors we are going to take an example. However, the force is transferred to the conductor and that the sum of the extremely large number of extremely small forces, observe here, conductors, and that the sum of this extremely large number, the electrons in a large number, for those electrons the force what is going to be happening, it's a very small. Large number of extremely small force is a practical importance. Each and everything is important for us. Then within the conductor, the electrons are in motion throughout a region, immobile, it's not in a transferring, positive ions which forms a crystalline array, one after other, one after other, one after other, it will be aligning by itself. Crystalline array giving the conductor it as a solid properties. This is what the for the conductors. It's not going to be same for semiconductors if you are going for. Then a magnetic field which exerts a force on the electrons tends the when magnetic field is happened, then the electrons will start moving. That's what electrons tends to cause them means the electrons to shift position slightly the movement of charges going to be happening and produces a small displacement between the center of the gravity of the positive and negative charges. The movement will going to be happening due to the magnetic field. It's like a motors. You are giving an supply. From the supply, electric field is going to be happening. From the electric field, your magnetic field created. Then your motor starts rotating. It's based on the same object. What's going for? The same example you can consider here. Then next part is going to be the Coulomb's force between the electrons and the positive ions is going to be tend to resist the displacement. Such displacement is going to be any attempt to move a electrons, therefore results in an attractive force between the electrons and the positive ions of the crystalline lattice. Is not required where it's going to be attracting. The opposite charges are going to be attracting by themselves. That's what here it is telling. Then the magnetic force in thus transferred to the crystalline lattice. For that if I am going to applying, then are the conductors itself. Then what is going for in terms of coulombs? The coulombs forces are so much greater. Observe here this point. The coulombs force are so much greater than the magnetic force in the good conductors. Means Coulomb's law, what we taken, it is greater compared with the magnetic force, and that the actual displacement of the electrons is almost negligible, immeasurable. We can go with that. Then a small how it is going to be taken, one small example here. Next part, the charge separation that does resulting is disclosed. It's not taken that much importance by the presence of the slight potential difference across the conductor. What is the potential difference in between of those charges across the conductor sample in the direction perpendicular to the both the magnetic field and also to the velocity of the charges? The potential difference what is going to be happening in between of the 2-point charges. That's why it is telling here that voltage, the potential difference is taken as a Hall voltage and the effect is called as a Hall effect. This one term you have to remember in this topic. A small construction here it is given. This is what it's going to be your flux density or force, how it is going to be exhibiting. Here observe here, this is for positive. Your number of holes here, the number of electrons are there. This is the opposite here. Here the number of electrons here. Observe here the for how it is going to be current. It is moving towards and it is coming back away, moving away. The equal currents directed into the material are provided by the positive charges moving inward. Positive charges moving inward, and this is what first figure is of, and negative charges moving outward. Observe here, it's moving outward. Then the second case is of the inward and outward. What is it is telling current, how it is going for both cases. Then the two cases are can be distinguished by oppositely directed Hall voltage, what it is going for. Now we'll take what is the figure is telling for us. The figure is indicating the direction of the Hall voltage for both a positive and also for the negative charge in motion. For this is for positive charge and this is for a negative charge. Figure A is going to showing us that our voltage is in the minus AX direction and V cross B is in the AY direction. Observe here. It is in the AX direction. Observe here. This is X direction. It's moving in this way. Means it is moving in this way. Means the X is in this direction. For that reason minus AX direction. And our B flux density is moving in the Z direction. Same thing here to telling. Vn cross B is in the AY direction. And Q is positive. The charges what it's going to be is of a positives. Then the causing the FQ to be in the AY direction. The direction of this is in the AY direction. Then the positive charges move to the right. Then in the same way it's for the negative charges, where in figure B voltage is now at plus AX direction and B is still in the AZ direction only, and hence the negative charges end up at the right edge. This is what based on the how a Hall effect is going to be happening here. Then equal currents provided by the holes and also of the electrons in semiconductors can therefore be differentiated by the use of our Hall voltage. Then based on this it is easy for us to determine whether the given device, the semiconductor, is of a N type or else it's of a P type. The direction of movement, whether it is coming current is moving in the AX direction, means we can tell that as a N type. If it is moving towards minus AX direction, means we can tell that as a N type semiconductors. Based on this we can find out by using of the Hall effect. We can tell. This is what the next half part. Then about devices employing a Hall effect to measure by using of this, what we can do is of the magnetic flux density, and in some of the applications where the current through the device can be made proportional to the magnetic field across it, and to serve as an, observe here where we are going for, serve as an electronic wattmeters or as squaring elements and going on. Wherever the magnetic field we are going to be using, there you have a Hall effect. That's in terms of that we can tell that. This is one part. Next, one more, a small derivation will come across. If considering an element of moving charge in an electron beam, I am going to take an electron beam, then a force is going to be taken, the sum of the forces on the individual electrons in that small volume element. But if considering the element of moving charge within the conductor, where the total force is applied to the solid conductor itself instead of a normal conductor, a solid conductor, where still our movement is not there. In such cases we are going for. Then when I go considering of that part, then convention current density in terms of the velocity of a volume charge density, I can write the equation as current density is going to be equals to rho v into velocity. This equation we know. Then the differential element of the charge, it can be written as dq is going to be equals to what? We know this, rho v into dv. Therefore df is going to be what? I can substitute here as, instead of dq, I can write here as rho v dv into v into cross with b, or else I can write the equation as df is going to be j cross b into dv. Then J in the current density equation can be written as a differential current element. Therefore, I can write here as J into dV. I can write as K ds. That is nothing but I into dl, differential current element in terms of that. Then the Lorentz force equation applied to the surface current density. Therefore, equation is going to be dF is going to be equals to K into cross with B ds. Then to the differential current filament, then df is going to be in terms of current. If I am going, this is in terms of Lorentz force. In terms of your current filament, I into dl cross with b. And in terms of integral form of all these differential equations 1 2 3, then I can write here as f is going to be volume integral j cross b dv. In terms of surface integral, based on our Lorentz force, k cross b ds. Or else I can write the equation for in terms of a current as f is going to be closed integration I dl cross b, that is going to be equals to minus I integration closed integration b cross dl. All the equations are important here. Remember this equation. Then a straight conductor in a uniform magnetic field, F is going to be equals to, instead of going for integration, we are not considering here. Straight conductors, I into L cross B. This is what the equation you will be getting of. Then the magnitude of the force is given by F is going to be equals to B I L into sine theta, where theta is the angle between the vectors representing the direction of the current flow and the direction of the magnetic flux density. This is what the theta is giving the information for us. Observe here we in this topic we taken the three different parts. The first one is what it is taken is of first what we had taken, what is the differential force we defined, then how it is going to be taken the volume charge, how the charges are going for, then what is the individual force is going to be exhibiting in terms of a discrete values and also in terms of an analog way we taken. Then taken the example for in the conductor, how it is going to be exhibiting the force, how it aligning is going to be happening of the electrons or ions. It's go that part you taken. Then we taken with the in the coulombs, how it is going to be transferring our conductors, how what is the magnetic force is going to be in terms of a coulomb's force and also in the our magnetic force, what is the relationship between of those two. Next part we taken of the Hall effect. Yes, go with the figure and go on explaining of this part. Then we go on with the a small derivation part. This is the 4 parts we taken in this topic. This will be asking for 6 marks in the question paper. This is one topic. Next is of a force between a differential current element. This is just like a how it is going to be taken, force in between of a differential current elements. The concept of the magnetic field was introduced by to break into 2 parts of the problem, where we are going to find a interaction between one current distribution and to the another means second current distribution. It is possible to express the force on one current element directly in terms of the second. If I am able to find out the one part, I can able to find out the second current element without finding the magnetic field. This is how a different one. If we don't know the magnetic field, we can find out what is the force based on that part. Then the magnetic field at point 2 due to the current element of point 1, I can go with the dH2 is going to be equals to I1 dL1 into the direction what is going for A R12 divided by 4 pi R square into 1 2. Then the differential force and differential current element, the equation is going to be this. We know that dF is going to be I into dL into cross with B. Let B for here it's going to be taken as D a D B2. Then the differential flux density at point 2 caused by the current element 1. By integrating I dl as taken here as for the point 2, I2 into dL2, and symbolizing the differential amount of the differential force for the element of 2. Here it is going to be what? D of dF2. Therefore, D of dF2 is going to be I2 dL2 into D B2. Remember which are in the directions that you have to specify. Then since our dB2 is going to be what? Mu naught dH2, the force between the two differential current elements, then the equation is going to be d of d F2 is going to be equals to mu naught I1 I2 divided by 4 pi R12 square DL2 cross with DL1 cross with A R12. This is what you will be getting the equation. Then the force what is going to be exerted by one point charge on another point charge. The force on first charge was a negative if I am going to consider of that of the second. Then first is positive, when it's going for second it's going to be negative. The total charge is going to be what? Total force is going to be zero. It's going to be when I add up both. The total force on the system was going to be 0. This is not a case with the differential current elements. If I am going to be differential current element, you will not getting as a 0 force. But what is that force? We'll take up that. The reason for this, why we are going to be not getting as a 0, is because of the behavior lies with the non-physical nature of the current element. Current is not in a constant, right? It will be varying. Whereas a point charges may be approximated quite well with the small charges, and the continuity of the current demands that the complete circuit should be considered. For that reason, it's not going to be a 0 in the differential current elements. Therefore, the total force between the two filamentary circuits is going to be obtained just by integrating. Here double times d is there, means double times you have to integrate here. Therefore, F2 is going to be equals to mu naught I1 I2 divided by 4 pi into closed integration dl2 cross with integration closed integration dl1 into a r12 divided by r12 square. That is going to be equals to mu naught I1 I2 divided by 4 pi integration closed integration. Then this part is taken outside here, taken this side. A R12 into DL1 divided by R12 square in cross with DL2. Using the above equation, we can find the force of repulsion between the two infinitely long, straight and parallel filamentary conductors with a separation with the D and carrying equal but opposite currents I. This is how it is shown. Current in the opposite direction with the difference is of D for the force. What is going to be? For in such cases, we can use of this force equation. Then the magnetic field intensity at either a wire, what is taken, wire caused by the other is known to be like I divided by 2 pi d. This is what the magnetic field intensity is going for, and is readily apparent that the answer is for the force is going to be mu naught I square divided by 2 pi d in terms of newtons per meter length. What is going to be taken? This is what about differential current element in terms of a force. These three topics based on our force, magnetic force.